I'm really excited to speak with you. I absolutely loved the Yeti, but as I was watching this, I kept thinking, I don't know if I've ever seen a Yeti film before. So I guess my first question for you is why make a Yeti film?
Well, that's exactly why, actually, because I wanted to watch Yeti movies and I was like, there's not that many of them. So I called Gene. He was making this was during the lockdown and COVID, and he was making a COVID documentary, brutal, harrowing stuff happening, and I'm calling him every night, being like, we gotta make a Yeti movie. He's like, I can't hear this right now.
But eventually he got through, and what I heard through all of that, Yeti made now, us must do. Um, Will was really great about this, and what we learned was like this just felt unexplored, and there wasn't like a single version of a Yeti film that everyone agreed on yet. Yeah, there's Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and all types of cryptids, but there's not really like a quintessential Yeti yet. And so it felt, you're always looking. In many ways, stories are repetitive. You can't, it's really hard to generate new stories, but like in this kind of world, in this genre world, you're always looking for something that hasn't been explored yet and hasn't been seen and like trying to find your way to that. And it felt really exciting to have that and to be able to put our version of the Yeti and let like audiences discover that our version along with us, you know?
It was definitely exciting. The only one I could think of was in Monsters Inc., but I don't know if that counts because I don't know the difference between the
Or
Yeti and an abominable snowman. So.
or
Yeah,
small
yeah.
Smallfoot as well as like an
Also,
animated one, and that's a
yeah.
pretty good movie too. I mean, I'd be happy if they were like Smallfoot meets the Yeti, it's great.
Um, And this film was completely practical. So the fact that it's a creature feature, what went into creating the Yeti and then actually how it was operated?
We had ideas and I mean, what's cool is that there's a bunch of images out there that people have just invented, and then you get to kind of like think about that and then come up with your own version, right? And we had this amazing creature team. Um, and they were like the mad scientists. They hand sculpted this 9 foot creature, and I don't know how much it weighs. It's in about three massive crates, spread out across LA right now, and it was form fit to the master sculptor's brother. So it's like a one of one. And I think, they had to specially order the fur and the paint and the color, all the stuff was really unique and original to this. So like there is not another one. Also made it harrowing, speaking of harrowing, worried about if that getting that creature, it was made in Florida, getting that creature to Buffalo to set in one piece, nothing bad happening because the whole show's over. It is CGI after that. But I think I think just in terms of the practical effects goes back to the magic of the films that we grew up with that we just love. Jaws, Indiana Jones, The Thing, The Mist. This film feels like a throwback to when movies had like the fingerprints of the teams making them. And I think your cast has an energy and an excitement working with a real creature, and the crew does, and I think the camera takes it in a really cool way, and you as an audience you can see that, you can feel the craft, and that, just for me personally, that kind of honesty, that analog honesty feels really good right now in filmmaking in the world where we're so inundated with so much AI and
Mm.
CGI, and there's whatever. That stuff can be super cool and well done, and there's no shade to it, but there is something special about having to slow down and take the time to make a film like this, and that's cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. It had like that old school vibe, but like it felt very modern at the same time, which we don't get anymore, especially because of the AI. So,
Yeah,
um,
all the shade to AI. No shade to CGI, but shade to AI.
um, What I also really liked about this film is that, yes, it is a creature feature and we're focusing on a Yeti, but you don't actually see the entire thing until the end. So, was the Yeti I guess, all put together throughout the entire film, or did you get to only use pieces of it at a time? I don't know if
It
that.
was fully built. It took about 8 months to build it, but it was finished before we started shooting. So we had it on hand, but it took like 10 people to make it work. So we couldn't use it that much. And we also wrote the story in a way that we didn't, very much like Jaws. We didn't want to have too much of it,
Mm,
too much of a good thing.
It was, yeah, and it was huge and it took hours to get going and we only had a finite amount of time every single day to work with it. And so we had to be really smart. I mean, we didn't get to see it on the stage until our first shot. And we were like, okay, this is like what the Yeti's gonna look like on camera. We have to find navigate our way through this. And it was really exciting creatively, but yeah, it was a full thing. He was so the actor playing the Yeti was it was built to suit. It's like silicone. It was so hot in there. They had like like on a trumpet where they have the spit valve, but it was a butt patch. And they would open it up to drain the sweat out of it, and they'd shove a leaf blower up there to cool off the actor because it was so hot in there. And I remember there's one sequence where a part of the Yeti happens, and I got to wear that part of the suit. And it was so sweaty and gnarly. I was like, this is disgusting. But I mean, it was fun, but it was disgusting.
I don't even want to come near that. I can just
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, but it took multiple people to get it up, and then it's a guy in a costume on stilts, so it was a huge deal. And we have this set that's like, while it was sturdy, it was incredibly delicate as well, snow blankets and real trees, and like we're really using that set as much as possible and trying to make it last through the shoot.
Right, right.
Things you get to explore when you're making a film with all practical stuff, right? As your set has to it has to make it through 20 days of shooting and crews and actors and Yetis tearing it up and running around and yeah, makes it the durability of it all was very exciting.
No, it was very dirty by the end.
Oh, I bet, I bet. Um, Another thing that I thought was really unique to the Yeti was we got to see this like father and child dynamic, which normally like the children don't go looking for fathers. It's like another friend or they're looking for a sibling or. So what kind of went into building the world around the Yeti and incorporating these characters?
Well, I mean, the best movies, Jaws, right? Yeah, Jaws is badass. The shark is amazing. But you know what's just as awesome? All the stories around it and the storytelling and the characters and the journey that they go on. And I think Will and I, we love all of those films. I mean, this is such, it would be such a disservice to just make a movie that has no soul from the characters, which I also hope the Yeti has soul and has a bit of a journey as well. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that that's a part of the goal of it is that every single person, that even the Yeti has a little bit of a journey here. And that's something that Will and I think about. And yeah, it's very much about the moment where the roles start to shift between parents and children, when kids have to take over. And when when they have to step into like not only themselves and become the adult, whether they're ready or not, but this is an endlessly fascinating tale of like the towering figures and the kids coming up in the shadow trying to find their own path. And I think Brittany and Eric, as the kids of these towering figures, are amazing in the journey that they take, and really, you have a great ride alongside them as they like help us unfold the story.
For sure, for sure. And I think it also kind of sets up the um I don't know if this will be a spoiler alert. I'll put this out after the film premieres. The baby Yeti, it kind of sets it up for a nice, like almost parallel story. Maybe if you are thinking of a second one, I don't know where you're at with that.
The baby Yeti. We'd have to find it. I think some clever creature team member stole that baby Yeti and is that baby Yeti's hiding somewhere in Ireland or something.
Next is Teen Yeti.
Teen Yeti, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Amazing.
I
Baby Yeti.
I think that's all the time that I have, unfortunately. But this it was so great to meet both of you and speak with you about the Yeti. If you do make a sequel, I'm all here for it. So
Oh, thanks so much, Beth.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate you taking the time.